all, today's top breaking news with Gitanjali from Bayan Times. SC dismisses plea of Andhra Pradesh government against HC orders on removing party colours from state buildings. The Supreme Court on Wednesday dismissed an appeal of the Andhra Pradesh government against the High Court order asking it to remove the colour of flags of political parties, including the ruling YSRCP, from government and panchayat buildings and get them repainted. A bench of Justices L. Nageshwara Rao, Krishan Murari, and S. Ravinder Bhatt did not agree to the submission of the state government on the issue and rejected the appeal of the state government led by YSR Congress Party YSRCP. The state government was represented by lawyer G. N. Reddy, who said the High Court order was against using flag colours of the political parties on government buildings, including Panchayat Bhavans. Recently, the High Court at Vijayawada ordered the removal of the colours that resemble those of the political party flags on the government buildings within 10 days. It had also ordered their repainting. Leopard caught on CCTV at Tirumala as animals roam freely in absence of pilgrims. A leopard was spotted near the Karnataka Chaltries on the newly laid ring road on the sacred Tirumala hills in the wee hours of the Wednesday. The movement of the leopard was caught on two CCTVs installed in the Karnataka Chaltries between 3 am to 3:04 am. With the famous Lord Venkateshwara temple at Tirumala closed for darshan for devotees due to the outbreak of COVID-19, the busy Tirumala hillocks have worn a deserted look for more than 2 months. Wild animals including spotted deer, antelopes, slender lorises and other ventured out of the forest and roamed freely on the deserted streets of Tirumala and were frequently spotted by the residents of Balaji Nagar during this period. Forest officials were alerted after the leopard was spotted. Officials said as the temple is all set to be opened for devotees after conducting a trial run with temple staff from June 8, the wild animals will move into the forest when the movement of people starts. Andhra Pradesh to clear pending housing scheme dues. The state government on Tuesday decided to clear the dues for housing schemes that have been pending since the previous TDP regime. Reviewing housing schemes with officials at his camp office, Chief Minister Y.H. Jagannath Reddy directed them to clear the dues with amount 1,323 crore for 3,38,144 houses. Emphasizing the need to stand by the poor, the CM told the officials to assign a day for their payments and ensure that there are no lapses. He also took stock of the house sites to be distributed on June 8 and the construction of the houses later, and said 15 lakh houses will be built in the first phase and told officials to see that more houses are constructed in Visakhapatnam, Kurnool and Nellore districts in the first phase. He added that each house should have a bedroom, kitchen, living room, toilet and veranda, and there should also be no compromise on the quality of construction. Net tax revenue growth plunges to 12-year low in Telangana. The growth in net tax revenues fell to a decade low of 2.94% in FY20, shows an express analysis. The sharp decline in net tax collections, which includes states' share, perhaps explains the government's reluctance to open up the money spigots and deploy an aggressive stimulus plan to aid economic recovery following the 68-day lockdown. It was in FY10 that we have seen growth in net taxes plunge to 3.63%. A year before or during the year of global financial crisis in FY09, growth stood at an even dismal 1.86%. Bearing this 2 years, the increase in net and gross tax collections grew at a healthy clip despite having a low tax base. For the NDA government, which has been in power since 2014, this is the third such instance when growth fell to single digits. In both FY16 and FY19, net taxes grew at a pale 4.4% and 6% respectively. Still, it was shades better than FY20's 2.94%. "24 arrested in rupees 2.12 crore Srisailam temple scam, rupees 83.4 lakh recovered." Kurnool District Police on Tuesday arrested 24 people in connection with the scam at Sri Brahmaramba Mallikarjuna Swami Varla Devasthanams in Srisailam. The police recovered 83.4 lakh of the total 2.12 crore swindled and seized a car worth 8 lakh from the accused. All the accused are residents of the temple town. Atmakul DSP Venkata Rao, an investigating officer in the case, said 24 employees of Srisailam Temple, 20 outsourced and 4 regular staff worked at siphoned off 2.12 crore since 2017 by tampering with the software used for booking various Arjita Sevas and rooms and making donations. He said they registered 4 separate FIRs in connection with the loot of 14 lakh of VIP Abhishekam, 56 lakh of donations and Arjita Sevas, and 1.42 lakh of tickets. They said they will recover the remaining amount from the accused soon. The DSP said more accused will be arrested soon. He said the accused are siphoned off temple funds using loopholes in the Temple Management System (TMS) and Sri Sailam Management Information System (SMIS) by double printing, creating fake IDs, and changing the login IDs, Venkata Rao said. LG Polymers India has absolute liability for gas leak, says NGT. South Korean company LG Polymers India has absolute liability for the loss of life and public health in the gas leak incident at its plant in Vishakhapatnam, the NGT has said, while directing that the interim penalty of Rs 50 crore would be spent on compensation to the victims and the restoration of the environment. The National Green Tribunal directed that a restoration plan be prepared by a committee comprising 2 representatives, each of the Environment Ministry and Central Pollution Controlment Board (CPCB), and 3 representatives of Andhra Pradesh government. The NGT also junked the company's plea seeking review of its May 8 order, slapping on it the Rs 50 crore interim penalty, saying that it is justified in taking suo motu cognizance of the matter. A bench headed by NGT chairperson Justice Adarsh Kumar Goyal said that final calculation of compensation may be assessed by a committee comprising representatives of Ministry of Environment, Ministry, CPCB and National Environmental Engineering Research Institute. The committee will be at liberty to associate or cooperate any other expert institution or individual. The Secretary MOF may ensure constitution of such committee within 2 weeks. The committee may give its report within 2 months thereafter. The bench, also comprising Justice Shiv Kumar Singh, said. SSC exams, 10-12 students in a classroom, mask for all in Andhra Pradesh. Only 10 to 12 candidates will be allowed to write SSC examination in each classroom, Educational Minister Adhimalupu Suresh said on Tuesday. The SSC examinations are starting across the state on July 10, as very few students will be allowed in each center. In order to maintain social distancing, more examination centers have been raided, said Suresh. A total of 4,154 examination centers have been selected as against 2,882 centers every year. Masks and sanitizers will be provided to all the candidates and the examiners will be given gloves. According to 8 lakh masks and 4,500 thermal scanners have been procured so far. All the examination centers will be outside containment zones. The officials have been directed to keep a few examination centers ready in case the situation changes in selected centers due to spread of the virus. Apart from this, open school exams will be conducted by following safety norms. As many as 1,022 exam centers are raided as against 580 in the past. He also reviewed the works being done at 15,175 schools under the Phase 1 of Nadu Nedu scheme. CBI files FIR against suspended Dr. Sudhakar Rao in Vishakhapatnam. Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI), which is probing into the case of suspended Narsipatnam Dr. Sudhakar Rao following High Court order, has filed FIR against Sudhakar Rao late Tuesday night. Sudhakar Rao is undergoing treatment at Government Hospital for Mental Care in Vishakhapatnam since he was admitted by the police. A CBI official told TNIE on Wednesday that the investigation in the case was going on as per the court order. They have also taken up local police investigation in the case. The case details and FIR will be uploaded in the website shortly, he said. Sudhakar Rao's case took several turns from the time he was suspended when his statement on denial of N95 masks went viral in the first week of April. He has been lying low till he surfaced on highway near Akayapalim on May 16. The police then allegedly mistreated him while shifting him to the police station and later he was shifted to mental care hospital. The police then filed cases against Sudhakar Rao for violating lockdown norms, obstructing police on duty, and registered cases against him under sections 188 and 357 of IPC. Center clears Godavari forest land for Telangana Irrigation Department to build Samakka Barrage. Even though the Godavari River Management Board (GRMB) had asked the Telangana government not to go ahead with the construction of new projects across River Godavari, the state government on Tuesday heaved a sigh of relief as the centre issued orders transferring 27.9 hectares of forest land to the State Irrigation Department for Sakama Barrage. The state had decided to construct the barrage on Godavari to supply water to Devadula project. For this, it became necessary to procure forest land in Itunagaram and Venkatpuram. KTR directs official to complete Kaleshwaram lift irrigation scheme package 9 work by Dasara. MAUD Minister KT Ramarao on Tuesday directed irrigation authorities to ensure that the package 9 work of the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation scheme KLIS is completed by Dasara. After hoisting the tricolor on the state formation day at Sirkilla, he and Collector D. Krishna Bhaskar inspected the Malkapeta tunnel package 9 in Konarao Pet Mandal. The MAUD minister who inspected the tunnel lining and pump house works asked irrigation authorities to expedite the progress as it seems slow. The idea is to fill the upper Manier Dam with the Godavari waters to provide irrigation to the farmers in the Ayukut by Dasara. The authorities brought to the notice to the minister that the forest department was objecting to the work, especially when they acquired land for the project. To this, Ramarao said alternative land was already handed over to the forest authorities, and if any issues came up, this should be brought to the notice of the district collector. The minister also suggested to the authorities to check seepage at the pond, which is adjacent to the villages. He told them to chalk out an action plan and prepare a report to encourage tourism at Valpeta and Malkapeta reservoirs. "180 more COVID-19 cases in Andhra Pradesh. Total tally inches closer to 4,000. COVID-19 tally in Andhra Pradesh increased to 3,971 with another 180 new cases reported in the last 24 hours till 9 am on Wednesday. The death toll in the state increased to 68 with 4 more casualties, 2 in Chittoor district and 1 each in Kurnool and Krishna districts, reported. According to the media bulletin issued by the State Command Control Room Health on Wednesday, a total of 8,066 samples were tested in the state, and of them 79 tested positive. Another 94 who returned from other states also tested positive. Further, 7 foreign returned also tested positive for the virus. The cumulative total of the new cases in the last 24 hours was 180. Another 35 people were discharged from the hospitals across the state in the last 24 hours after their recovery. The total number of discharge in the state as of now stands at 2,456. The number of active cases in the state now stands at 1,447. Telangana CM Chandrasekhar Rao writes to PM Modi opposing Electricity Amendment Bill. Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao urged Prime Minister Narendra Modi to advise the ministry to power to withdraw the amendments proposed to the existing Central Electricity Act. Rao dashed off a letter to Modi to this effect on Tuesday. The proposed Electricity Amendment Bill takes away certain functions and powers of the state government, Rao told the Prime Minister. The Electricity Amendment Bill would have an adverse impact on the management of the state electricity organizations, Rao said. Rao also opposed the DBT system for giving subsidies. The proposed amendments to the Electricity Act will have a negative bearing on the functioning of power sector, and it takes away certain functions or power of the state. The provision to appoint State Electricity Regulatory Commissioner by a selection committee constituted by the central government and entrusting the responsibilities to a neighboring state electricity regulatory commissions under certain circumstances is hitting on the core of the federal polity, which is enshrined in the constitutions of India. Telangana Formation Day celebrations muted, KCR proud of state's progress. Telangana celebrated its 6th Formation Day on Tuesday, albeit on a very low key due to the spread of coronavirus. Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao paid rich tributes at the Martyrs Memorial located at the Gun Park in Hyderabad and later hoisted the national flag at Pragati Bhavan. Due to the increasing incidence of coronavirus, the official function was cancelled and the Formation Day was celebrated with only a handful of guests at Pragati Bhavan. Recalling the plight of farmers before the formation of the state, Rao declared proudly that Telangana now stood at number 1 spot in the Indian agricultural sector People used to suffer for want of drinking water during summer, but now through Mission Bhagiratha, that problem has been solved forever, he said. Telangana records 99 new COVID 19 cases and 4 deaths. Telangana on Tuesday recorded 99 new COVID 19 cases, 87 of which are local transmissions. Over 12 cases were from migrant workers who had arrived from other states. This takes the total number of cases to 2,891. A major chunk of cases are from GHMC limits. Health Minister Yatala Rajender took special cognizance of the same and had asked the health department to devise procedures that reduce the doctors to exposure of the virus. The day also recorded 4 deaths, 2 of which were men aged 41 and 42 with thyroid and cardiac issues as comorbidities, and 70 and 60-year-old women, both with known cases of hypertension. This takes the total death toll to 92. The medical bulletin released by the government states that people with comorbid conditions like chronic kidney disease, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, hypertension, diabetes, and cardiac illness, irrespective of their age, must avoid travel and stay indoors. With this, we conclude with our today's news headlines. For more such latest news and updates, like, share, and subscribe Pi and Times.